You just tuned it in. Global and worldwide. Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the fighter's voice. The fighter's voice. With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz. And the formidable co-host, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Voice that matters. We have a great show for you today. A bit of technical difficulties. The virus tried to hit us, but we hit right back. I got my co-host with the most, Mr. Mike Rutha. And also we have with us Dr. GUZMAN. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a living man, myth, and legend. I mean, he does anything to help that. Exactly. He does anything from help the athletes to help himself to give you a better life and make you prosperous and have a better wife. Is that safe to say, my man?
That's a beautiful intro. Thank you, Richard. Couldn't ask for anything better, but it's a pleasure to be on the show with you. I've known you for several years, obviously as a patient, we always talk boxing when you come, always talk sports, so it's always a pleasure.
You know what? And we always talked about having you on the show, and now we have you on the show. And one thing, man, let's jump right into it, man. I mean, the boxing world, the MMA world, it seemed to be alarmed because of this virus. Give us your take on today's virus, and how can we kick it in the ass?
Okay. Well, actually, it's going to take a team effort, and I'll say the words COVID-19, right? That's the virus. It's a virus that needs to be taken seriously because there's a lot of bright scientists out there in the world, from China to the U.S., Iran, that are worried about it because it's what's called a novel virus. I mean, novel virus means it's a virus we haven't seen before, so our immune system don't really mount defense to it as soon as possible. For example, we've seen several forms of the flu virus every year, back to back. We see the flu virus, and we built up an immunity to it. It's like cops already having pictures of robbers, so when they come in, they attack the robbers quick because they identify them. That's how our immune system works. But the novel virus, our immune system has no clue, no pictures, no fingerprints of what to go off of. So it takes a while to mount a response. So that's what's making it. Well, that's what your novel virus. That's what that means. A lot of people come in. Hey, what does novel virus mean? Well, that's what novel virus means. But back to say, how can we beat it? We're gonna beat it by making a group effort. And when the virus hits us, we're talking boxing. We gotta have our guards up when it hits. So what does that mean? Obviously, the social distancing, washing your hands, but also not going out. If you're not sick and you don't need to go outside, then don't go outside. Just pay attention. We've been a little bit on the naive and ignorant side. We just need to follow instructions for a while, and it'll go away. There's certain precautions that we've been telling people to do to boost your immune system. Number one, you could always exercise at home. And then, can you still see me, Richard? Okay. Exercise, vitamins such as zinc that boost your immune system. Vitamin C. If you're going to take vitamin C in between meals. If you take vitamin C between meals, it boosts your immune system. If you take vitamin C with meals, you absorb more iron. That's what we tell pregnant women. Hey, have a little glass of orange juice with your iron deal so you absorb it better. So if you're going to boost your immune system, take that vitamin C between meals on an empty stomach. So those are the things. That's how we put our guards up for when it does hit. We're prepared for it.
Mike, when you hear that, and you're a big boxing fan, man, what are the withdrawals that you're going through? Because I know we're all spoiled. We get to watch boxing and MMA. And now you hear what the doctor has to say. What's your take on that, Mike?
Well, I mean, we got to do what we got to do because it's a serious thing, and you're seeing more and more people get it. I know the numbers keep jumping up every day, and I keep telling people the reason the numbers are jumping up is because more people are being tested, obviously. But in the sports-wise, I mean, it is a withdrawal because, I mean, for the last, 2 years, we've had boxing on, it seems, almost every weekend. And now we're sitting here. I mean, I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm over here rescoring fights. I'm doing things like that. I'm looking at the old MMA videos, and it's what we got to do. But I like the fact that the people are taking it serious in the sports world, especially when it comes to boxers and MMA fighters, because you got to think they're trying to make weight. So as they're trying to make weight, they're going to be, draining themselves a bit, which is going to lower their immune system. And if they were to get hit with that virus while they're, in the middle of training or the last week of making weight, that's a big problem. Imagine a fighter going in already weight drained and then possibly have this virus in them, and that could spell real bad. So I'm happy that people and at least the athlete world are taking it serious, so we don't have to see some sort of effect there.
Mike, you say that, and sometimes we get to cover the fights or we get to watch it on TV. But my man, Dr. GUZMAN, I mean, this cat is sitting ringside. All the big fights, he's there. Tell us about your experience, doctor, when you're sitting ringside or even cage side.
Hello?
Doc, yeah, doctor.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel when you got the best seats in the house? You're sitting ringside at these big fights.
Oh, there's nothing like it. When you can really see the punches, you can see the sweat fly off their bodies, their faces. You can hear the breathing. There's nothing like it, and it's an honor to be part of boxing here in the Valley. You know, Rick Meridian and Jose Ramirez, Gabe Flores, and watching all those local fighters. It's a big deal to us because you know we're born and raised in the Valley, and that is big to us. And we know what they do in the community. They're active in the community. So, you know, watching them fight is like watching a family member fight. So you get into it. There's nothing like it when you're sitting that close.
You know, and not only that, I mean, let's talk about what you do prior to that. I mean, you give these guys physicals, you make sure their hands are okay, their brains, their body, their heart, their health. You not only are you there watching them, you're a big part of their life because you take care of them physically.
Yeah, Dr. Bautista and I, we've been taking care of them for, you know, it's been almost like over 6-7 years. So you know what their nutrition is like. And like he was saying earlier, he brought up a good point. When they're cutting weight, you know, their immune systems might drop a little bit, but, you know, it's our job, you know, with our medical background and our nutritional expertise to kind of guide them on how to take care of your body because, you know, you're going to get exposed to both physical and mental stresses that lower your immune system. And also, not only that, your physical recovery. So I always stress to boxers, hey, man, the best time for you to take care of yourself is all the time because right after a fight, you know, you got to get those antioxidants in, cut your inflammation, get that rest in because, you know, your body, your head, everything takes a big toll after a fight. And it's important that, you know, take care of yourself. It's a 24/7, 365 thing.
You know what also is important is having a great team. I'm sure you got a great staff. I mean, earlier we were going back and forth and trying to get this audio. And it was as simple as hanging up the phone. And I want to give Mike props for just saying, hey, you know what? Common sense, man. Put the phone down and use the cell phone. And that's what it took. It was our first time using this system. And we're going to continue to use this and kick this virus in the ass because the fighter's voice is to continue to go forward and continue to knock people out. And we're going to knock out that virus. Doctor, you've been a big supporter of the fighter's voice. What exactly is your favorite part of the show? I mean, the interviews, you being on the show, the entertainment. Tell us what you think about the fighter's voice.
I think my favorite part about the fighter's voice is, you know, the passion is real, man. When you hear talk boxing, man, you just start glowing. And it's like that every time you come. So I know I'm always going to, you know, get the latest, the greatest news on boxing whenever I come in. So I feel like I'm giving you a medical consult. You're giving me a sports consult. So it goes both ways, man. I learn just as much as you do from me. So I learn, you know what I mean? So I'm waiting for you to charge me one of these days.
You know, our visits are very entertaining, man. I don't even call it a doctor visit, man. It's just you like sitting in the garage and having a cold one and talking boxing. Mike, you know exactly what that is because you talk boxing constantly. You told me you couldn't wait to ask the doctor a question. Okay, Mike, now's your time. Ask your question.
Well, it depends on which one.
I know you had a lot for him.
Well, for this, my biggest one is I'm seeing, you know, what the virus as it is as a whole. I'm seeing from different places, like Italy, they said they already pretty much hit their peak, and it looks like they did as the numbers are starting to come down as the people that are actually getting sick or dying. The last few days, I've seen 0. So from what I've seen online, I looked at the actual COVID website, and it showed us that we had more cases in Italy on February 15th, and now we're 20-some thousand below. So could it be that we actually responded a little bit better, or are we still waiting to hit the apex the same way Italy is?
So it depends where I've been keeping up with that myself too on the CDC website. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
There you go.
All right, man. Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right, so back to your question about the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I gonna happen right now. The coronavirus, you know what I mean? It's like you said, it's hitting New York pretty hard. We've been a little more prepared. I think we have some smart scientists in the country that started preparing it. Believe it or not, in places like San Diego and Washington, the vaccine they designed it in 3 hours. A lab did it in San Diego because we cooperated with China. They gave us the DNA sequence of the virus, so that's gonna get the immunization going. We should have that by the end of the year or early next year. But for right now, and we need to start taking measures to how to prevent getting it and how to, when people do get it, how to mobilize hospitals. That's what we're working at right now. It's been kind of a scramble, but I think we're going to get it right. I think we're doing it the right way. I think, the weather, the temperature change is going to help too, but we're mobilizing it and we're ahead of other countries.
Yeah, that was going to be my other question is the heat, because I keep hearing that the heat usually, well, it doesn't kill it, but it slows it down. So that was my next question, because I know like in Mexico, I have family out there, and they've told me that they haven't had one case near the area, and they live kind of in the spot right now where it's like 90 to 100 degrees on a normal day.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if that's going to be something else.
Yeah, there's some research studies. It's anecdotal, but we got to take what we have right now. It's early, but there's been some studies where can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, got you.
Go ahead, doctor.
There's been some studies. I've actually shared it with a lot of my friends where, there's been some studies on viruses such as the coronavirus. They love the respiratory airways, like our nasal passages and our lungs. And as long as the air stays kind of cool, it could live there. But if the air gets really warm, temperatures are really warm, like being in the hot sauna could be therapeutic, or even doing something as simple as a blow dryer, blowing it in and inhaling the hot air, it makes the proteins from the virus kind of disintegrate. So heat is a big thing. That's why every year the flu season just kind of disappears once it heats up. So I think Mother Nature is going to help us too. And if you look at on the map, New York is a colder place this time of the year than where we are. So that helps. And plus, they're crowded is a big thing. There's more crowding there. So luckily in California and Fresno, we're a little more spaced out. But those are there's several variables.
Okay. So what do you have to say to, because you just got these guys working out is part of their life. They make a living doing it. They just can't stand still. What advice do you want to give them? Are they okay to go to the parks and work out? Are they okay to take a jog, go outside, or just stay home and try to find something to do as far as working out?
I think personally, where they work out, as long as they sterilize the surfaces, you understand that, if the surfaces are sterilized, you're gonna kill the bug. That hygiene is a big thing, but it's always been the hygiene thing. You can go outside, go on a run, just be far away from people. Don't go to a public park and go do pull-ups where a lot of people are gonna touch it. But for a jogger or sprint, it's common sense, right? So the other day,
exactly.
Huh? Go ahead.
No, exactly. It is common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, for example, the other day, my wife said, let's take the kids on a little bike ride to the park. We're going to go through the park, but we're not going to stop at the playground, right? As it is, even without the coronavirus, kids pick up diarrhea, a lot of stomach viruses like that, because kids, they touch everything, and that's how they build their immune system.
Yeah.
So, you got, if you're going to go outside, just, try to avoid making contact with people. But for right now, just follow the rules and only come out when we have to.
Doctor, how have you personally, adapted to it? I know you guys are still in practice right now. And you know what? I want to say this right now, and I'm not joking you because we have you on there right now. A lot of people have shut down their stores. A lot of people have stopped doing the norm. But without you, the doctors, the pharmacists, we'd be in jeopardy. You're putting yourself in harm's way, in the danger zone, just to help us that sometimes we need checkups.
So we've definitely adapted our ways to minimize people's exposure and risk. So right now we're like firemen, and there's a fire coming. We should be working the most, and it kind of breaks my heart. Dr. Bautista and I, we talk about it, how some places have shut down. A lot of offices, tell, hey man, just go apply for unemployment. Like, no way, we gotta help our colleagues in the hospital that are being swamped right now. So what we started doing in our clinic, Dr. Bautista and I, we started offering phone consults. So if people are sick or have any symptoms, we call, we do a phone consult. And it's 2020, man. We send the medications via the computer. A little more, so we'll treat, you know, accordingly and aggressively. And then if people have, you know, have a laceration or, you know, a dislocated shoulder, we're gonna fix that in clinic, or a joint injection, because that's not an infectious disease exposure. And everybody that comes in, we screen. There's always somebody at the door, you know, making sure hands are clean, you know, and that people aren't showing any symptoms. We have a triage system, and our main focus is to still keep serving people, man, because this is what we're trained for, you know.
Mike, when you hear that, man, I mean, I know your heart goes out, because you love the policemen, you love the firefighters, you like the guys that do a good deed, but this is beyond. They're in the fire right now. It's like if we were in war, they'd be right on the line. Yeah,
and I mean that's where the stores that are actually still open, and of course all the medical field, because they really are there. They're the ones that are going to be treating people that already have this disease and trying to make them better at the same time of putting themselves at risk of catching it too. So I mean, that's more respect to the medical doctors. To, you know, my thing is, hopefully after this is all done and you know, we recover to a point, they should all go take a paid trip to Hawaii or something, because they deserve that, man. I mean, that's something they should get after this.
Yeah, no, we definitely enjoy that, but you know, we love doing this. You know, we love helping people. This is what we signed up for. We genuinely love doing this. That's what the Bautista GUZMAN philosophy is about, man. It's just, we got to take care of people, man.
No, you do. I mean, you take care of them both physically, and also, I mean, you guys help out a lot. And I don't even want to open that door where it says you've helped people with scholarships. You've helped people fund their way. You've always made a way. You've always given back to the public and the people. And, you know, you being on the Fighter's Voice is just a crumb of what we can give back to you. And let me tell you this. We have a high successful rate that when we have guests on the show, their life starts to prosper. And I know your life's already prospering, but sky's the limit, man.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Hey, man, we're real grateful, you know. I was born in Merced, and then, like, you know, so we're always helping people. When I was a college kid, you know, I lived in Dr. Bautista's home when I was a teenager, and I worked in his downtown clinic. I used to shadow him while he'd see like 50 or 80 patients a day, go to the hospital. And I learned from him, and he's like, you know what? You learn how he gives, and it's a chain that continues, man. So, you know, in the end, we're taking care of people that are our own. And a lot of them are field workers, and then that's another service right now that hasn't stopped. You know, field workers are wake up every day and work harder than we are, you know, because they're part of this. We're in it together, from firemen to policemen, like you said, field workers. You know, that's the largest economy in the United States right there, you know, and you know, we're proud to serve them.
You know, it's okay to have some entertainment. It's okay to joke around. Myself and Mike, we've talked, and we've said, you know what, right now, Rick Meridian, he's putting his head together. If possible, he would put the Jose Ramirez fight on the moon.
He would.
Away from everybody. He'd make it happen. He'd have a shuttle that would take everybody up there, and he'd make it happen, man. And before you know it, instead of like ringside card girls, there'd be like Martians holding up the cards or something. But he'd get that fight done.
I believe it, man. And you'd be paying to watch it. So, Rick's a great promoter. You know, he's definitely put Fresno on the map in terms of boxing, man. So, you know, you got to tip my hat off to him, man. He's a great promoter. He's a good dude too. So, I know him personally. So, yeah, man, we're blessed to be around him.
No, he is, man, and I always say iron sharpens iron. Mike,
and
you watch.
Speaking about that, yeah. So
no,
speaking
Mike,
about that, I know.
Mike, you watched him plenty, and you just said, you know what, this guy just outdoes everything.
Yeah, he could put it on no matter where it's at. So he's got a skill. I mean, if he could put us in a bubble to watch that fight, and we'd be there. You know, spread outside. It looked like that Simpsons movie where he put the bubble around the town. He would do that if it meant getting the fight done. So
I believe it, man. I believe it.
I seen that today. They did say that the UFC 249 for sure is going to go on April 18th. So that gives me some hope that May 9th that we still might get that fight here. If they said that they're getting that fight done, because they're getting good information that by then that everything should slow down. So, hey, if that's going to be the 18th, the 9th is still, 3 weeks away from that point. So maybe if that goes, we might still get that fight. And as Lukey told us last week, that would be a big event and that would be a big celebration, you know. So hopefully it goes down that way.
I feel it's possible. I think we put our minds together and our effort and all cooperate to kind of let this level off. You know, it's a possibility, and why not have it as a goal as a universal goal to flatten this curve out for the coronavirus and get rid of it. And by then the weather will change. There's a lot of factors going into it. Let's have that as a goal. Let's be optimistic that good things are going to happen. And like you said, that'll be our celebration. That's the light at the end of the tunnel, man.
Yeah. Exactly. That's something to shoot for.
Exactly.
And that is definitely going to take a team effort, because and I want to talk to you about, okay, you gave us tips on how to be safe. Now give us some tips on how to be smart about, you know, not going into the fire, you know, making sure we're not at benches and using the bars when we're working out where there's germs. How can we be smart about that? Because common sense is free, but a lot of people, they're not taking it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a lot of goes a long way. So remember, when you go, say, for example, you know, you got to take care of whoever is sick, or there's elderly people at home, regardless if they have symptoms or not. Have a designated person that's going to go out and do the grocery shopping and go pick up their medications. Like, for example, I have my in-laws living with us right now. And so, you know what? You know, my wife went and picked up their medications, doesn't let them leave. And when she gets home or I get home, you change your clothes as soon as you get home and you shower up. You know, that's a simple way to prevent microbes from going into the house, or bacteria. You know what I mean? Viruses. So, you know, just change, and, you know, right before you go home, that way you don't expose yourself to anything when you go home, anything you brought. So those are simple tips that go a long way. Same thing when you go to the gym. If you go to the gym, you know, you have your gym clothes. As soon as you get out of the gym, you know, take off your gym clothes, you know, and then put them in a specific area where it's only going to be for your gym clothes, and keep your bag in one place all the time, because you don't want to put your bag, you know, for example, when you get home, you want to leave it in the area that's a closet or in the garage. Don't bring it into the kitchen. Simple things go a long way, but we get careless. Oh, you know, there's people waiting for you. You know, get distracted talking, hey, Papa's home, Mama's home. And, you know, you bring the bag into the kitchen and you eat off of it, so you forget to clean. So, you know, just be conscious of what you bring into the house.
Doctor, when all this is said and done and it's all over, what's the first thing you're going to do? The first thing you're going to do?
Oh man, I want to watch some live sports. That's what I want to do with a alcoholic drink, just to relax a little bit. But that's my goal, is to watch live sports with a refreshment. So that's my goal. That's always that's how I approach medical school. That's how I cope with stress. There always has to be a celebration. Right now, our stress is getting through this. You know, we're like Matt said, we're in withdrawal from watching sports. I'm tired of watching reruns. I want some real stuff. There's nothing like a live or just a new event. So that's what I look forward to. So hopefully May 9th, we'll cross our fingers. If it's later than that, you know, we'll pray for it. But, you know, May 9th would be a good goal.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen May 9th. Mike, what's the first thing you want to do, man, as soon as all this blows over?
First thing, probably that first day will probably be like a barbecue or something. And then probably hit the beach, man. You know, I mean, the week before we got locked down, I was at the beach, and it's surreal to think about. The week before that, I was at the beach, you know, in the water, having fun. And then the next week, it was like, hey, you got to stay inside. Don't go nowhere. So it shows, this thing has showed that a lot of us take a lot of things for granted. So that's my thing, is to be able to, you know, take my daughter on a little trip with my wife, you know, take her somewhere, just
awesome.
Relax for a couple of days. But hopefully the moment sports comes back on, man, just.
You know, it's been rough.
Yeah, I'm watching.
I mean, we talk about people.
That's going to be my thing. Is probably barbecue.
Barbecue. That's awesome, man.
Well, make sure you give out that address, Mike, because we'll stop by for that. We'll definitely stop by for that. I got one more question for you, Doctor, and then I'm going to let you go because.
Cool.
What was that, Mike? No, I said I got one more question for the doctor.
Oh, no.
Okay. Hey, doctor, how long are the hours? How has it really changed? I mean, because the days of 9 to 5, they're kind of on hold right now. Because I know you're making yourself available to help out at the hospital now. And what's out of the norm for you right now? Is it just day by day for you?
Actually, we've never been a 9 to 5. We've always been like a 8 to 7, and we still get calls from home. And you know, we'll come like last night. One of my friend's mom that came and took care of her. We were here till like 9:30 p.m. last night. Just saw her individually, you know, because she had a history of lung cancer, and she had instead of sending her to the ER, go, no man, let me take care of her. You know, give her a cortisone shot, some IV vitamins, and some of the peptide stuff I do. And she's doing great. I talked to her this morning. So, you know, for us, it never ends. This is our passion. We take care of our family, friends, and patients. So for us, if you talk to me and Dr. Bautista, 9 to 5 has never been existent. We never have formal 1 hour lunch. We kind of basically take a quick little break and eat, but we just keep charging, man. But it's what we do. We like to do it. We're not complaining. I'm just describing it, you know. It's what we do.
Awesome. And you know what? Those have never been to your office. Where are you guys located at, and how many practices do you have?
So
where can we visit? Like if you, a new patient, when can they come in?
So you come in or call first. I know screen you. So one office is off of Cedar and Herndon, East 1805 East Fur Avenue, Suite 101. That's 1805 East Fur Avenue, Suite 101 here in Fresno. The other one is in Sunnyside, 5539 East Kings Canyon, off of Kings Canyon and Clovis. So, you know, we have one clinic that does mainly Medi-Cal, Medicare, and non-insured. And in the North office, we take care of everything from Medicare to private insurance to, you know, people that are doing a little bit better. But, you know, that our motto is always take care of everybody, man.
No, and you do. I mean, you're referred to me by, I want to say, Al Perez, Big Al Perez from Al Main Events. He said, Richard, you got to go. He asked me about my doctor. And I said, I'm kind of everywhere. And he said, no, you got to lock yourself in, man. And, man, bro, I mean, honestly, I look forward to going to the doctor just to have our conversations and, you know, just to know I'm well taken care of. And that's being honest with you.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, to us, like if I could describe medicine every day, it's like every different patient is a different podcast, man. You remember the stories and I learned a lot from patients, and that's what's cool, man. So it's beautiful, and we enjoy doing it.
Mike, check this out. Where else can you go see a doctor and then you get to talk boxing as you're waiting? It's not boring. You're not like, man, I don't want to go. You're talking boxing. You're talking MMA. You're talking competitive sports. There's no place like it in this area, man.
There's none. No, that's impossible. Really, every time I go to a doctor, I got someone telling me, what am I going to get for groceries? And I mean, that's not exciting to talk about. I'm trying to talk about something fun.
And that's the beauty of it. I mean, I've run into, you know, Mr. Ortiz, you know, in Vegas. I run into him at the airport, you know, at Chuck Chansey. So we see each other, you know, we might share a drink together, and that's the beauty of it, man, and enjoy it, you know what I mean? So it goes past, you know, the examining room. So it's a friendship, you know, professionally and you know, and on the friend level too. So it's cool. That's what's cool about being here in Fresno.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Flattered by it. And listen, I know you got to go. I appreciate the time that you're giving us. And just know you always have a place here on the Fighter's Voice. Whenever you want to say, hey, Richard, there's just some things I got to get off my chest. Hey, I just want to have fun. I want to be entertained. You let us know. We'll get you on the hottest podcast in this area. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday, the Fighter's Voice all day long. What's your take on that, Mike? I mean, because we got to have them in studio when this blows over. Did you copy me, Mike?
And as soon as it's over, bring them in, and let's get this going.
Yeah. Hey, any last words for you, Doc? So to let all the viewers, the listeners, and all the followers know that you're here for them.
I want to say a thumbs up for Richie, man, and we're gonna get through this coronavirus thing. So you know, we're in a great country, a great sports country. The best athletes in the world are here in America. We're a universal all-star team, and we got the best minds and athletes. So we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna celebrate, and then maybe one day we'll have a little barbecue. You know, I love barbecue. So yeah, you know it.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, yeah, there we are. Hey, want to thank everybody. Rich Ortiz here with the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. We're simply knocking out the competition. Thank you for subscribing. That's www.youtube.com/the Fighter's Voice. Every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap here in Fresno, California, all over the world. Thumbs up for Richie.
Thumbs up.
Never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week. Same when, same how. And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.